Ever since Don't Starve Together came out, I, like many other people, just kinda pushed the idea of solo Don't Starve to the sidelines a bit. I mean, I played a lot of solo Don't Starve for a long time and I always wanted to play it with friends. Why would I ever want to go back to single player? And as the years went on and DST got more and more content, I found less and less reason to want to go back and play solo DS. Even when Hamlet came out, I only played it for a few minutes, not even hours before I went back to playing DST. So I think it's time we go back to my roots, DST's roots, and give the game that started it all the appreciation it deserves. It's gotten plenty of updates since I last played it and a whole new world to explore. So with all that, I got a journey planned. I'm going to start with the normal survival, the forest, the reign of giants. Look, I'm still not certain what to call it, but the normal world. I'm going to start there for this video and work my way through each of the expansions in order. I'll spend around a year in each world to try and experience all they have to offer, and once I'm done, I'll use the world transfer system to bring my character and some items with me to the next one. This is a really cool system I like that solo Don't Starve has, where you can create some sort of massive connected world of all the expansions, allowing you to move between them freely. It's been a very, very, very long time since I've dusted off the old classic Don't Starve. It's got a lot of things different, so let's see how much has changed over the years, as well as how much DST does differently. So, let's begin. The immediate thing you'll notice about solo DS compared to DST, for clarity's sake I'm going to call them solo and together respectively from here on out, is that the characters in solo are their old, boring, pre-reworked self. As a massive fan of the together character reworks, I have no desire to play, well, any of these characters, so I went with Wagstaff. It was a choice between any of the Hamlet characters, and I know he's not technically a Hamlet character, but he was added with the Hamlet update, so... However, other than Wormwood, I don't have any of the other Hamlet characters unlocked, so Wagstaff it is. A massive character in the lore, old Robert Wagstaff is a solo exclusive character with some very interesting gadgets and quirks. I'll go over them as we play, but just know that they were a real treat to play. So without further ado, once more, let's start. You saw that text correctly, we're starting in spring. Unlike in Together, the starting season in solo is, by default, randomly either spring or autumn. I was tempted to change it to just autumn, but bugger that. This is going to be a unique twist on how I normally play the game, so let's get on with it. So the first thing you've probably noticed is the old man's going blind. Wagstaff is nearsighted, just like me in real life, so he needs to wear his custom selection of glasses in order to see. Again, kinda like me in real life. This isn't a requirement, but it will give me a headache if I don't wear these glasses, so I'll always have to wear them. They do offer some unique perks, so they are worth it over alternate head options. Other than the old Wagstaff, nothing is different really. This is the same old Don't Starve you all came to love and appreciate, but with one less person. I miss you, Tig. And the new crafting interface. Oh god, do I hate this old interface. At least the game itself feels a bit more responsive and snappy, like picking stuff up. No idea why. I can show you one of Wagstaff's passives. With these basic goggles on, some items can be investigated to drop extra items when destroyed. This happens like 3 times in the entire video, so it's not that useful of a feature in all honesty. I'm not going to go over what happens every single day since there's no real challenge going on, it's a standard playthrough. I'll just make sure to mention any key events and such. Think of this video as a retrospective on solo compared to together, in the form of a cool, shiny playthrough you guys came to appreciate. Got the good old science machine down to get some starting equipment. You know, shovel, backpack, etc, etc. Pre-crafted alchemy engine for when I decide to actually settle down somewhere. World is a lot smaller in solo, so it won't be too important basing in a good spot. Plus, with the use of one of Wagstaff's cool gadgets, getting back to base will be a breeze only Wonder could suppress. The next few days were the typical early game Don't Starve material gathering, map exploring bonanza. This telebrella I made wasn't doing the best job at keeping me dry, but it was slightly better than just letting myself get completely soaked. What does the telebrella do? Don't worry about that just yet. I did find Chester. I'd love me a good early game Chester find. Try and ignore these jarringly out of place danger symbols. They're another feature of the goggles I have. They let me see submerged dangers like tentacles. WURT be damned. Speaking of damning WURT, I wish I was her right now, since these early game spring showers are soaking me and draining my sanity surprisingly fast. Came across some Clockworks too, an amazing find early game, and also introduces us to one of the biggest differences between solo and together. Yeah, mobs have like half as much HP in solo compared to together. They all die really, really fast. Even bosses have their HP slashed in half, some even quartered. I ain't gonna complain, however. I'll need all the advantage I can get in this new but old world. After spending day 5 doing nothing but exploring, I decided to put down roots, and of course pitchfork, in this deciduous forest biome next to the Pig King, Sinkhole, and a Spider McTusk forest. Great stuff to have local like always, especially the golden pigskin, since I need a lot of it to keep my glasses crafted. I made some wood boards to turn into flooring and... oh no, this won't do at all. You only get 1 turf per craft in this version. Oh, this is terrible. Hang on, let me go make great use of my time by going to this old Maxwell set piece and digging up these carpets so my feet don't have to be cursed with disgusting ground. Yeah, I know I'm a bit of a fiend for making sure my bases have nice turf. If doing that is wrong, then I don't want to be right. I started to plant the berry bushes and saplings I got because, well, like I said in the previous video, they won't grow stuff in my pockets. A nearby lightning strike did scare me into making a lightning rod. Good call since this storm was raging. Tough to deal with as a starting season, but I ain't gonna bend that easily, am I? Good old crockpot and fridge down, so now I can store and cook food. Might as well use this time to tell you about Wagstaff's negative. As well as being short-sighted, his old man's stomach means he'll take damage from any uncooked food and jerky. Not being able to eat jerky for a lot of health would be an issue in the future, so we're gonna have to rely on healing food, poultices, and salves. I spent my time on day 8 just simply gussying up the base a little bit. Not the most practical use of my time, but to me, having a pretty base to come back to is paramount to survival. Next to having food, of course. Well, maybe. Using this oppressive looking visor, I fought some spiders to grab a couple bits of silk, monster meat, glands, all useful things any point in the game. Oh yeah, this visor is a helmet item just for Wagstaff that gives slightly more defense than a log suit, football helmet, or even a battle helmet. Take that, Wigfrid. Even the old man is better at making battle gear than you are. But it does kinda put you in letterbox mode. Ah well, better than being blind since it does solve his short-sightedness as well, just like his other glasses. Ignore the fungal trees in my base. Those are there because it was a full moon last night. Moon does weird stuff like that. Using the silk I got last night, I was able to finally make an umbrella. Yeah, up until this point I was just kinda taking the rain raw, drying off under trees whenever I could. I kept my sanity in check by just simply picking flowers, which I would then use the collected petals to make rot for the bushes. 10 steps ahead I am. For once. On the break of day 11 we got attacked by hounds. Wait, let me correct that. We got attacked by a hound. Yeah, hound attacks are way easier to deal with in solo. I guess it makes sense, less people and all. They do have the same health and damage in together though. I was mainly out here trying to get ice to make the flingamatics, since next season would be summer. And once summer starts there's no way of getting ice, so I gotta get what I could while I could. I did go a little bit insane during this, so after dealing with the nightmares and hearing the old Insanity ambience, seriously listen to this, it's creepy as hell compared to Together. I spent the next couple of days just resourcing and exploring. Good to do it now whilst I could. I did find some flotsam. They're found in the classic playstyle ocean and give you random garbage and sometimes trinkets. Cool. These were not even in the game last time I played solo, so let that tell you how long it's been for me. I got the first flingomatic down on day 15. Good thing I remembered to get that ice, otherwise summer would have sucked. I also got down another one of Wagstaff's contraptions, the Thumper. This thing thumps in a big area, amazing for clearing out trees like this. Gotta plant a nice big forest around here and it'll pay out in no time. Oh, Return of the King, we got the classic solo farms. They kinda sucked compared to Together if I'm gonna be honest. They look cool and everything, don't get me wrong, just nowhere near as versatile or powerful as the Together ones. Still, Another secondary food source as well as the berry bushes. A win in my books. I plopped down some chests. I really do say plopped down a lot, don't I? As we got another hound attack. This time, 2 hounds came. Cool, be careful game, don't make it too hard on me. I made a bird cage and spent the rest of the day planting a forest and killing some spiders. All the prep you can squeeze in before sweating our nards off in the summer. I decided to jump down into the caves a little bit. I wasn't planning on staying down there for too long, just do some basic surveying for the future. I get to put these eye-blisteringly blue thermal goggles to good use, however. They kinda let you see in the dark by showing thermals, just makes everything else kind of annoying as hell to look at. I spent roughly 2 days down there just mapping the area out to save us the effort later on. Caves in solo are a lot different than together. Instead of there being one mega cave that spans the whole map and includes the ruins, there's several smaller caves that are independent of one another, which each lead another layer down into the ruins. I was mainly looking for that one path to the ruins. I wasn't going to go down there or do any ruins rushing, you know me by now, just looking to get it mapped out. I fought the nightmares I gained whilst going insane down there, cooked up some green caps to get the sanity back before day 20 came on around. I spent this day doing the old hambat conversion method of turning 4 monster meat into 2 regular meat and 1 pigskin. A great trade that gives you exactly the things you need to make a hambat, a weapon I come to finally appreciate as I should in this playthrough. I used the hambat to get even more hambats. Sorry, I guess I should just call them werepigs instead of degrading them into their components. Anyway, the trees around the thumper were finally grown, check this out. Oh hell yeah. Now to spend the next 20 days picking all this junk up. Awesome. Welcome to summer. An earlier summer than I'm used to, but I like that. Love how it feels like the game's been turned on its head with this alternative start. Gonna do this more often on Together, I think. I caught a bird for the birdcage since I wanted eggs. Specifically rotten eggs. A couple of you at home might know exactly what I want to use them for, but for those who don't, it'll be an explosive surprise. Yeah, okay, that gave it away a bit too easily, huh? I spent the rest of that day collecting the logs that the thumper got us. Killed some spiders with rock lobsters that followed me out of the caves, get used to seeing these guys by the way, and did some base chores. Summer is summer, you know how it is by now. I'm glad I spent the time during spring to prepare for this, because if I was any slower at getting ice we would have had 0 flingamatics, since the ice melts late spring, early summer. Good thing I also remembered to take Niter with me this time, huh? Yeah. More dogs, they don't bite, honest. Nah, they're easy for now, but I'm kinda scared they're gonna ramp up massively soon. I know I could have designed my bases so the flingamatics don't target my fire pits, but I'm not smart and incredibly lazy, so deal with that I'm afraid. The food situation, by the way, forgot to mention, is going incredibly well. Summer doesn't stop the bushes from growing if they're watered. If anything, due to the increased daylight hours, they grow even faster in summer. And despite the heat making food spoil faster, our throughput is high enough where it's sustainable. The farm plot grew this weird looking aloe. Never seen this in my entire life. Confused me so much I went to check I didn't have any mods installed. Nope, it's a new crop added by Hamlet. Good healing if you eat it raw, which is something I can't really benefit from. Oh well. I went to go get some more gears for additional flingamatics and to make some more Wagstaff gadgets. Fortunately, due to the teleportato set pieces, you can find clockworks aplenty on the surface. It was at this point I utilised the fact that in solo Don't Starve, the defences from armour stack, unlike in Together. Meaning with a log suit and visor, I was taking roughly 1 damage per hit from a rook and a bishop. Plus their tiny HP pools gave me the easiest gears of my life. With those gears I got a new flingamatic down in the other corner of my base for some extra coverage. Mostly covering absolutely nothing, but hey. Also, welcome the telepad. This will sync up with my telebrella and let me recall back to my base whenever I want, granted I'm close enough. Spent the full moon doing the whole beat up spiders routine before day 26 hit us. A day filled with nothing. So day 27 hit us instead. I gathered up some bunnies, a top hat made from the silk from my spider incursions, and got down a Prestihatitator. No Prestihatitator in single player, I'm afraid. With that, I made an ice staff. I love ice staves. Easy to make and have a ton of use. The eggs the bird laid a few days ago finally started to rot. That's why I was leaving them on the ground. I was worried they wouldn't be done in time. In time for what? You'll see. Turn those eggs into some magical boom powder before yet another hound attack. Fun fact, with this visor and log suit on, the hounds were doing decimal damage. I can now see why they removed this mechanic from Together. Yeah, also this happened.
You said I'm heading east.
Ah! Ah!
Oh my God,
Nah.
it's trying. It's trying.
Now we're good.
No, you're good. Okay, well, your forest is kind of gone, but... Okay, everything else... Hang on. You know, you can handle... Oh my God.
We're good!
Alright, thank God.
Yeah, by the way, Tig was here watching for some parts of the playthrough, but it was mostly me on my lonesome, so that's why live commentary has been quite minimal. After spending day 28 spelunking, seriously nothing was down there, on day 29 I emerged to do some basic chores. Freshen up the food, pick the berries, yada yada. Made a couple healing salves from the glands and ash. Fun fact by the way, you can just burn rot to get ash. Never knew that. Day 30 was a day full of murder. Couldn't be asked to kill spiders and get the monster meat to make the pigs into werepigs, so I just killed the pigs and skipped the middleman. Miss out on some materials, but yes, I am that lazy. Whilst I was out and about getting some more niter and rocks, I heard a noise I haven't heard in a long time. Somebody is coming. Somebody you're all familiar with, but in a different form most likely. I used my cool umbrella to teleport back to base to prepare as quickly as I could, until she arrived. What followed next was a battle for the ages. Yeah, now you know why I needed that gunpowder. Unlike in Together, the dragonfly in this game is just a visit your base and mess you up kind of giant, like the Deerclops. Significantly lower health too. Really strong melee attacks however, so that's why I focused on getting those eggs to make gunpowder to insta-kill her. Simple solutions to complicated problems, I say. I turned the scale she dropped into a scaled chest. I always found these things kind of pointless, especially in solo. A chest you can get usually once a year that only has 3 more slots and costs a buttload more gold. Sure, it's fireproof, but who cares? I went back into the caves to do some, you guessed it, more surveying. Grabbing the odd rock and gold here and there didn't hurt either. I was mapping out the spider stalagmite biome since a little birdie told me that's the best place to find the ruins entrance. Yeah, however, no ruins entrance were here, so it must be somewhere else. Also, I started overheating. This doesn't happen in Together when in the caves. They're usually a relatively safe place during summer. Maybe it's because my Thrombell Stone is hot now? Also, I forgot to mention, yeah, Thrombell Stones have no durability in solo. Kinda miss that. I had to deal with both Nightmare Beaks and Terror Beaks before I bounced back out of those caves as fast as I came in, bringing more rock lobsters to the surface with me. Why not? A nice bit of rain blessed the end of summer. This summer really wasn't much worth mentioning. Only one particularly scary wildfire and the dragonfly was a joke. Food isn't an issue since stuff grows faster due to extra daylight hours, and with a steady preparation's worth of niter for the emergency endothermic fire, overheating wasn't ever an issue. So I rewarded myself with some wolves. Yay. Here we are. Autumn. Good old safe autumn. Nothing is really going to be much of a bother to us this season besides a certain grumpy, big old fluffy dude, but cross that bridge when we come to it. I used my first day of autumn getting some more handbat material since I was practically never using spears or any other melee weapon anymore. But you can finally breathe a sigh of relief because on day 37 I finally moved some grass tufts into the base. Don't ask why I usually do this so late. I suppose it's because they need fertilizer and I'd rather use that stuff on berry bushes early game. Not a problem anymore since that summer did cause a lot of our food to rot. More spelunking. Now that it's autumn we don't gotta worry about the rain, the heat or the cold, so no better time to do it than now. Actually, scratch that, more hounds. Okay, no big deal as always, back to the caves. Petering my way around the caves led me into another spider biome with these annoying slurtles, which actually ended up stealing and eating Chester's gems. Bugger, I should have left Chester at home, this ain't no place for him. However, we did finally find the ruins entrance. I ain't going down there now, this willfully unprepared, so I smashed up a couple bunnyman houses for their materials and skedaddled. Back on the surface, I made some houses right next to my base for that sweet pre-nerf drops they had. 2 carrots and 1 meat or bunny puff. Maybe I made them a little bit too close to the base, but no worries, right? However, with steamed hams in hand, these things are godly by the way, I set up a telepad right next to the cave exit as I did another incursion into the caves. I mean, there wasn't really much else I could do at the moment other than explore. Best time for it is autumn. Grabbed some more rock lobsters before jumping down even deeper into the ruins. It's been a very long time since I've been down here in solo. As in, probably once in my entire life have I been this deep in a solo ruins. Long way from home now. I hammered the clockwork piles for more gears before starting to map out the ruins a bit. My goal was to find the labyrinth entrance since that leads us to the good stuff. Didn't have to look too long as day 43 rolled around and I found it. I dipped my toes in a little bit, hugging the edges to avoid the spiders whilst I could, grabbing any, honestly, garbage loot I could find before I found the big man himself. Yeah, I ain't fighting him just yet, so I kindly slipped past him into the sacred biome. This is probably the best ruins biome since it has very little dangers once the nightmare cycle is ended. Lots of fuel site statues and a fully constructed ancient pseudoscience altar. I didn't know what to craft right away, honestly I didn't expect to get this far, and I forgot to bring living logs, so I just settled on a crown, fuel site suit and a magiluminescence? Yellow amulet. This will do for now. After all, this trip was meant to be a scouting expedition, and here I am crafting ancient gear. Whoops. Either way, it was time to get out, so after taking a pretty meaty hit from the Ancient Guardian, I managed to use my telebrella to get out scot-free. A bit scary, but don't tell anyone I said that. Also nearly died on the way out of the caves due to the bunnymen waiting for me at the exit. Sheesh, this telebrella was a godsend. But I can't help but think I'm forgetting somebody. Due to my insanity, the bunnymen near my base turned into beard lords. They drop beard hair, which I thought I'd make into a meat effigy. These are different in solo. Instead of basically being a free extra life, these things will lower your max HP as long as they're in the world. However, if you ask me, I'd rather have 30 less HP than start all over again. Also converted all those frazzled wires into gold via the Pig King. They have literally zero use in this game, unlike in Together, so this is the best and only use for them. Spent the next couple of days just exploring around the map with my funny, cool, speed increasing, sanity boosting, light emitting amulet. I feel so naked without my backpack, but with no walking cane, this is the best I got for speed. And I ain't gonna bother taming a beefalo. Should have done this sooner, but like I keep saying, autumn is the best time for exploring. I ended up finding what I was looking for, which was this guy. Something I've never seen when I originally played. This is Wally, not the cute little robot. He's a trader like the Pig King, but offers stuff like gems, feathers and such instead of gold. As well as gold. Unfortunately for him, I don't want that. Instead, I want the Seaworthy that he's currently sat on top of, which is a thing I need to meet the Seaworthy, which will let me actually continue my quest to the next world. I can also get it from the flotsam I keep occasionally fishing out of the water, but it's so much rarer, so if we don't have one by the time the year ends, we can always smash off Wally's boat for one. We got another hound attack on the afternoon of day 49. The bunnymen actually came to my aid. That'll be the last useful thing they'll ever do for me, by the way. Foreshadowing, ooh. Surprise! On day 50, this old lug turned up. Kinda completely forgot about this guy. Evidence to the fact being that I left my damn handbat in the fridge. He did smash up my base a tiny bit whilst I went to grab it and started the duel old school style. I couldn't just tank him using the OP armor system from solo due to his disarming attack, so it was the usual swing, dodge, avoid the slam attack until he's dead. Don't forget, we're still playing Don't Starve solo, so he has laughably low HP. We even also got some support from nearby tree guards, heck yeah. Easy peasy. Killed a tree guard too for some living logs, since I needed those for a more ancient gear and the shadow manipulator. After that epic battle, I went to grab some bees and honeycomb to make bee boxes so I can get honey for food and maybe even honey poultices. The bees really didn't want to leave their hive, so it took me about 2 days to get the 4 bees I needed. I used my funny umbrella to walk back home, build the bee boxes, and now we have some yummy honey being produced. Thanks, bees. I did catch more butterflies to speed up the production too. By the way, spoiler warning, I think I only actually harvested this bee box like once in the entire playthrough. Good use of 3 days, I'd say. But on day 54, I decided I wanted to kill the Ancient Guardian. I already had a lot of stuff prepared in the form of fuel site armor, a ham bat, decent food, and some healing supplies. So after making a thermal stone in case it gets a bit too cold down there, I marched my way back into the ruins. Oh, hey Chester. I'll come back for you later, honest. After nearly getting murdered by the beard lords outside the entrance, with rock lobsters in tow, I made my way back through the labyrinth and right past the Ancient Guardian to kill some time until the nightmare cycle ends. I ain't fighting him during that death wish. The cycle waned down on the last quarter of the day, so with the fuel sight on and ham bat in hand, I took to fight to the Ancient Guardian. Now he's evil. Now he's bleeding.
Oh god. Oh.
What's that?
Did like a big jump.
He's dead.
Wow. Okay.
God, this is easy, isn't it?
That was just straight up easy.
God, solo don't starve is so easy.
Yeah, what? Hang on, what the Isn't this like the end of it, basically?
Yeah. Only a minor setback. We can take care of that, no worries. Oh my god, I ain't gonna be able to live that one down, am I? At least he's dead too. This meat effigy was a great idea. I geared myself back up with the necessities to get back down there and get out with my rightfully earned loot. Look, don't worry about winter right now, we got some stuff to collect. This time with a visor equipped, just in case there's any more cheeky tentacles still lingering around. I gathered all my stuff as well as the treasure before getting the fresh hell out of that godforsaken place. Pretty decent haul if I do say so myself. The Guardian also drops a thing called a Seed of Ruin, which lets you regenerate the ruins like in Together. I won't need it for this playthrough, but if I ever decide to change my mind, I know where to find it. Anyway, yeah, it's winter. Welcome. It's cold as heck, but it's also the last season we have to worry about. Oh, but how could I forget? I need to go grab Chester. 2 seconds. There we go. Anyway, these next few days felt more like a victory lap than anything else since, well, as sad as it is to say, compared to Together, there's not much you can do. Like, you can do the ruins and you got your seasonal giants, but that's kind of it if you don't include the DLCs. Together has so much optional content. Raid bosses like the Bee Queen, Toadstool, Dragonfly, Crab King, the quest chains of the Celestial Champion and Ancient Fuel Weaver. Ah well, this journey ain't gonna end after year 1 because we'll be getting to the real meat and potatoes of Solo Don't Starve soon in the form of its awesome expansions. But until then, it's winter. Winter feels colder than it does in Together. I don't know why, I think it's because of how thermal stones feel incredibly nerfed. Like, my body temperature only goes to like 16 degrees even when standing right on top of a fire pit. Together is definitely easier in that regard. Hound attack again. Actually started to increase intensity a little bit, not gonna lie. Still nothing to consider even remotely a danger, but yeah. I upgraded the Prestidigitator into a Shadow Manipulator since I'll need to make the seaworthy to leave this place since that date was right around the corner. I'm gonna miss this forest. It's been a fantastic journey, I won't lie, but I'm dying to go somewhere nicer and hotter. Not burn your base kind of hot, but more of a tropical heat, you know? I went fishing for some more flotsam since I really didn't want to have to break Wally's boat if I didn't have to, but unfortunately, no luck. So I'm sorry Wally, but I gotta smash your cool little boat. Look, if I ever want to find another one I could just regenerate the world using the teleportator. Ain't gonna happen though. Also, I did come here originally to trade these trinkets with them, but it turns out the bird flies away during winter. Made my choice easier. Oh well, Pig King it is then. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Why the hell did I just say that? I had a rough encounter with the Beard Lords near the base. I forgot they had such a low attack delay. What followed next was me just running around like a headless chicken whilst trying to figure out the best way of dealing with this. The best way was brute force, by the way. The changes to freezing and thermal zones is really starting to kick my ass. It feels like you gotta use protective equipment in this game since a thermal zone is barely enough to keep you warm. Even running around the base right next to my fire pit I could still freeze. I spent that day trying to deal with these bloody stupid beard lords before smashing their houses into the scraps. Learned something very important today. Don't build these things too close to your base. I know they only attack you if you're carrying meat, but I don't enjoy massive insanity auras and feeling like a prisoner in my own damn home. Day 65 was nothing but chores, but on day 66 I bagged my first McTusk. Should have hunted these guys earlier in the season. Either way I got my first Tanashanta from the first kill. Nice. Sure, I can't wear it without being blind, but the sanity buff is too good to pass up. Now, I'm used to the Deerclop spawning on day 10 of winter. As you can see, however, it's day 12 of winter and no sign of it. I don't like this since I'm a big routine-based guy and this is kind of messing me up a little bit. I don't want to go too far from the base since I worry the Deerclops will come and smash it up when I least expect it. Must be because I started in spring. Or because solo is quirky like that. Who knows. I spent the rest of the day just killing spiders and resourcing before a hound attack came to mess up my day a little bit. They ramped up in intensity a lot, but again, mega armor stacking means I only took like 5 damage from all of that. It was at this point I was just waiting for old Deerclopsy to show up. Nothing else I could do really without risk getting caught unaware. Also due to how I couldn't really think of anything to do, period. I had plenty of food, a decent-ish base with amenities, and already cleared the ruins, so I just went and hunted the McTusk again and got a Walrus Tusk. Bit later than I'm used to, but hey, it'll come in handy having this for Shipwrecked. But as if right on cue, the Deerclops turned up. Noon of day 69. She did end up smashing my Flingomatic, but with a quick pan flute use and a good Dwarf Star placement I was able to battle with her, tanking all the damage with my visor and fuel sight suit, defeating her as fast as she arrived. Don't know what I was worried about really, this was no problem at all. The snow started to dry up, marking the end of winter, and also the end of this playthrough. I'm honestly quite shocked I was able to do this first try. I was expecting some sort of fish out of water scenario where all of my together knowledge and solo inexperience would clash in a spectacular way, but I did it. I spent the next 2 days just getting everything I needed from my Shipwrecked world. I'll have a massive advantage with all this gear, but it will still be a challenge I hope. I turned that fur I got from the bear gear last autumn into a hibernation pack, since I forgot it now has the exact same inventory slots as a normal backpack. I didn't put any food in there, but hey, it's cool to have. After a confusing bonus day of winter and a little bit of extra prep, we did it! A whole year. Fanfare, woo, I know it's not that big of a feat, but I'm proud of it either way. But remember, the journey isn't over yet. Not even halfway done. We still got Shipwrecked and then Hamlet to go. So, hopping onto the Seaworthy, our journey continues. Next time. That was fun, not gonna lie. I really enjoyed going back to solo after all of these years. It's still a fantastic experience if only lacking in content here and there. But I strongly recommend you guys go back and play it, especially with the prospect of eventually doing the DLCs. A massive interconnected world is a cool idea, so I hope you guys can join me for part 2, and touch wood, part 3. Thanks for watching if you made it this far, I really appreciate you sticking around for the whole video. Before you go, I want to give a massive shout out to our YouTube partners. Jordan, Spider-Girl Joey, Toby, Lucinia, and Nectarine. Thanks to all of you for your support. If you want to get your name and a little picture on this screen, then feel free to join via the channel membership page. You'll get a special Discord role as well as a mention on the homepage and the videos. However, it is never needed but always appreciated. Thank you for any kind of support, even as simple as watching this far. Stay loved and I'll see you next time. Bye everybody.